यथा मनीष नीचो जयो गुण विसर्ग अनुप्रविष्ट ये हि प्रमाणनुवर्णितेन भूतैर्महद्भिर्यैमां पुरा प्रभो निर्मायशेते यदमूष प्रोदुषः पुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मकम् त्वरं तदिशिष्ट भगवन् वचांसि मे यथा हरौ भगवती नृणां भक्तिर्भविष्यति सर्वात्मनि अखिलाधारे इति सङ्कल्पवर्णने दशमस्य विशुद्ध्यर्थं नवामिह लक्षणं वर्णयन्ति महात्मानः श्रुतेनाथेन चाञ्जसा दशमे दशमं लक्ष्यम् आश्रिताश्रयविग्रहं श्रीकृष्णाख्यं परं धाम जगद्धाम नमामि तत्। Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you for continuation of our discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. Voice is low. Yeah. So put this. It is increasing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Is it same or some change is there? Hare Krishna. Yes, bro.
Yeah, voice is good enough, Prabhu.
Good enough. Okay. Thank you. I hope it is at least audible. Yeah. So we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, the description of Chatushloki Bhagavatam as per Sri Jiva Goswami, where Maitreya Muni had just heard or thought in the sense of in Prabhashetra, the description of Chatushloki as described to Vidura, sorry, not Vidura, Uddhava. He was a third party, but he was deeply enlightened and enlivened in association of Uddhava and Krishna, just being a third party. Till the time last statement was made to him that actually you should speak this knowledge to Vidura. Otherwise, he was a third party and he got apparently transformed from a Jnana Mishra Bhakta to Shuddha Bhakta by getting inspired to enter into the Parshadattva of Lord Krishna. So that Maitreya Muni is explaining Chatushloki Bhagavatam in this section from chapter number 5, 6 and 7. So we are now in the 7th chapter. So we'll continue. However, we do generally the same thing. We'll do. First, we have some reflection on glories of Srimad Bhagavatam and some reflections from you from previous class. So the glory of Bhagavatam is in this section only. The Chatushloki description of love is there in this verse. No? The text numbers 40. So which is describing prema. So very beautiful verse that we will just think about to begin. Yeah, this is the verse about love of God.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam.
Prabhuji, I'm just driving to temple
Yes.
for temple service. So I'm just listening, please.
Yes, Prabhu. That is fine. Thank you. So, अशेषसङ्क्लेशशमं विधत्ते गुणानुवादः श्रवणं मुरारेः किं वा पुनस्तच्चरणारविन्दा परागसेवारतिरात्मलब्धा. So, what it does, this Bhagavatam, between jnana and bhakti, which is better to remove the ignorance. So surely prema is the bhakti is better, and the prema is the sadhya bhakti, which is the best. Why? Because the love of God or bhakti, which is a path to love of God, what it does is ashesha sanklesha samam vidatte. So it destroys unlimited sanklesh, samyak rupena klesh, the miserable conditions. Shamam. It minimizes, its cessation happens of unlimited miseries, miserable conditions. And what gunanuvadaha shravanam murare, when one discusses about the Lord's qualities, hears and chants and remembers, that avoids this. Right? Then what to speak of when one develops some taste for the sweetness of the lotus feet of Lord? Kim va punasta charanaravindha paraga seva ratiratmanam. So what is saying? Hearing and speaking about the qualities of the Lord in sadhana bhakti produces destruction of unlimited suffering. Ashesha sanklesha shamam vidatte gunanavadaha shravanam murare. How much more can be attained by the great attraction for serving of the pollen of the lotus feet of the Lord, applying by self-revealing nature during the state of Bhava Bhakti. So this is the goal of sadhan bhakti is Bhava Bhakti. Iti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava sa sadhana vidha. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya rakattam vidhi sadhyata. So what to speak of the experience when there is great attraction for serving? Kimva punastat charanaravinda paraga seva gatiratma labdha. So this is the goal of all our practices and studies and services and interactions and all. So that is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Gunanuvada Shravanam Mura. The discussion of Hari's Nam Rup Gun Leela. This is the essence of all what we have to do. Shravanam and Kirtanam of Harinam and Harikatha. So authoritatively hearing and authentically hearing and authoritatively speaking. This is the essence of all that Prabhupada has to open ISKCON for. Harinam and Harikatha, both. So this is what will lead to, and this is the glory of the discussion which we are having. So over to you. Some devotees may reflect on what we discussed the day before. Yes, some of you, and I request all the devotees to award their darshan by switching on the video, if it is easily possible. It will be inspiring to every one of us and encouraging us also. Yes, so some of you want to share some quick 1-2 statements, what you heard, what you reminisce, what you remember, and what you appreciate in the previous discussion. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
We, Vidura started off asking about inquiries about the Supreme Lord, and we asked like 2 or 3 questions about the Supreme Lord, like the Lord is spiritual and unchangeable. Then how is he associated with the material modes of nature? And about his pastimes, he performed the action, but how is it how the influence of the material nature is on his pastimes?
Yes.
Also how children when they're initiated by desire to play, so the Lord is self-satisfied, so why is there a need for creation?
Yes. So this is the first question about the Lord. Yes, thank you. So if Lord is completely spiritual, then how he is, if he is completely unchanging, avikarina, then how he can act? And if he's completely beyond three modes, then how he's involving himself in the modes where there is creation, maintenance, and destruction. Right? And if you say he's doing leelas, then why? If he's self-satisfied, why he has the desire, like a child desires to play, seeing the other children? There is nothing other than the Lord, other than the absolute truth. So that is the first question. Yes, Mataji, thank you. Anything else? Or
Hare
anyone
Krishna
else?
Prabhu, Dandot Pranam.
Dandot Pranam. Yes, Tushtachitta
Ah,
Prabhu.
this is, we learned on the last one, is how the second Chatusloki, which is especially on the Vijnanam, how the Lord energy is playing in the role to make the living entities to entrap in their material desires. So how this external energy of the Lord by which the living entity is entrapped. So that is the question Vidur asking Maitreya Muni.
Yes, yes. So there is a very important connection between the Chatushloki number 2
Yeah.
and this question which Vidura is asking about the Jiva. And how is it that Jiva is also spiritual, Sachitananda, then why and how he is getting affected by ignorance, and experiencing some suffering and bondage, right? Although he has nothing to do with bondage. So that is the second question about the Jiva, right? And both of these questions have connection with the second verse of Chatushloki, right? So, yes, thank you. Anything else? One more devotee, maybe, if you have anyone else to say something. What we discussed in the previous session.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
The conversation, so when Vidura gratefully he thanked Maitreya for all the doubts he had cleared, but still some doubts were there, so that Maitreya was able to identify that, so that their dealings were so subtle. So if you are advanced, so just by seeing their face, so pure devotees can see through us.
Yes.
And also it was mm, so when questions were asked, so Maitreya just immediately remembered the Lord. So Bhagavat, remembered. So then he was able to answer the questions. So that
Yes.
also we discussed.
Very nice. So first two verses you reminded that how actually as Prabhupada would do, means our pure devotees, they don't just hear the questions, but they can hear the intention behind the questions, or what is the state of consciousness of a person who is asking question. So Priyanan Iva, like that is there. So, although Maitreya Muni was spoken so sweetly by Vidura, but Maitreya could understand that there are some lurking doubts in Vidura's mind. And that's how he expresses those doubts. And Bhagavad Chitta. So he was thinking, as soon as he heard question, he felt, my Lord, such complicated questions, but he was taking shelter of Lord. So immediately he got the answers and he started answering, and we are discussing now the answer. Thank you very much. So that's what is the essence of our discussion. So now let us see the answers today, whatever time we have. It's a very important section, as I am telling you, that this is a description of Vijnana. So, of the second verse of Chatushloka. So, Jnana is a theoretical knowledge which we have to accept, but it is not tangible. How much tangible is that Lord was existing at the time of creation when the Mahavishnu was not existing? We can accept it, that's all. There is nothing tangibility to it. Or after all the annihilation, Lord will be there alone. So this has to be understood and accepted with faith. So this is jnana. But what is vijnana? The second verse of Chatushloki, that has to be experienced. Because vijnana means experience. So how we are going to do that? by understanding the description of Maitreya Muni. So he is explaining the second verse of Chatushloki. Right? So first verse of Chatushloki was described earlier. What is the second verse of Chatushloki? Is this. Nate artham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani. Tad vidya atmano mayam yatha vasu tatama. So this is the Vijnana. So day in and day out, 24/7, we are perceiving something, experiencing something in this material world. And we see something very valuable, pleasurable, delightful, etc. Or distressful and fearful, creating fear, etc. So value. So what Lord is saying to Brahma is that, my dear Brahma, understand my external energy. If you understand external energy, that is a beginning of Vijnan, beginning of realization of me, is the beginning of realization of Maya. So whatever you are in conditioned state now, whatever you feel valuable, is because of my connection with it. Just this is the simple meaning of the verse. The specific meaning is there in the metaphor. So imagine a room. Here you are seeing there is a room in which there is pot and cloth which is existing. Actually, it is existing. Right? So, and let us say it is night. So very dark room. So when you take a lamp of Vidya, then you will see the pot and cloth existing. So that is the meaning of first term. Prate artham yat pratiyet. Means when you take lamp of Vidya, when what you will perceive, see this word pratiyata is very important. What appears to be, what is perceived, what is seen. Not just seen, what is perceived actually. What is our vision? So pot and the cloth which are existing in the room become visible. So that is called Vidya Shakti. Vidya Shakti shows you the reality. And na pratiyeta cha atmani. Means within our body or whatever. Cross and na pratiyeta means avidya. What avidya does is it covers the pot or cloth. Let us say you take away the lamp from the room. So you cannot see the pot or cloth which is existing. Right? So na pratiyeta. So you can't perceive the real pot and cloth which is existing in the room because of the darkness of the avidya. So avidya is like darkness. Yatha vaso yathatam. So then what is perceived? What is pratiyeta? Snake and scorpion is perceived, which actually is not there. But because of the darkness and because of the knowing of snake and scorpion, one becomes fearful of snake and scorpion, which actually doesn't exist. So these two functions of showing the reality, so see, and which done by Vidya potency of external energy, and showing the non-reality and giving the experience of fear and all, that is by avidya potency of Maya. So understand this to be my Maya. So which has two aspects, Vidya and avidya. Right? So this is what we are seeing. So this metaphor is given by Vishwanath Chakravarti. So lamp or illumination. It reveals so Vidya potency of external energy reveals the truth and removes the confusion. That is Vidya. But it is still external energy only. In material world you put light. That is by Sankhya, Yoga, Vairagya and Tapasya. You can see the reality of soul. And avidya, it shows the reality of matter. Matter is considered as real. I am this body, etc. Which is not the case. Reality is hidden by ignorance. So existing pot or cloth is not seen because of avidya. And what is snake and scorpion which are not existing, which cause fear because of they are perceived, although they don't exist. So that is avidya. So this particular verses are explaining more about avidya potency. So this is the verse which is described in these three verses, 9, 10 and 11. So we saw the 9th verse. So these were the questions which you nicely repeated. So
Prabhu, one question. This just to
wait,
understand it.
just wait a
Okay.
minute. I'll complete few things and then you can ask. Yeah, please forgive me for that. So now in the first verse, which 9th verse we saw, that is the verse Seyam Bhagavato Maya Yannayena Viruddhyati. And Ishwarasya Vimuktasya Karpanyam Utavanna. So this verse is explaining this Chatushloki one. So first line is about the Supreme Lord. That the external energy of Lord or the Maya potency of Lord cannot be understood by logic. That is the meaning of this word. Sa, that Maya, that I am, this is Bhagavato Maya, means it belongs to the Lord. The external energy belongs to Lord, but it is different than Lord. Yan Nayena means by logic cannot be, you cannot use your logic to understand how it is, how the spiritual Lord is connecting matter. So it is separate from Lord, that's all. So simply like just as sun, see, because of sun, clouds, snow and darkness are produced. But does sun get affected by them? No. Does sun get covered by them? Not really. Sun, our vision is covered by the clouds of sun. Not the sun doesn't get covered. Go to flight, you can see. Snow is produced because of absence of the heat of the sun. And darkness is present where there is a covering of the sun. Darkness or shadow or whatever you can see. So this is how to understand this, it cannot be understood by logic. That's why analogy is given. Let's see, sun is completely far and it is never affected by cloud or snow or darkness. But still, because of sun, these three things are experienced or created. That's how the Lord is, by his external energy, does creation, maintenance, and destructions. He involves in creation and modes, right? Thus, the action of creating universe takes place by Maya, the energy of the Lord, whereas the Lord is without change in his Swarup, avikar. Because non-difference between possessor of Shakti and the Shakti, it can be said that the Lord creates the event. Shakti, Shakti Matayor Veda. So this, it is his senate. So this is Lord Sun, which is there because of that. So this is the first line. Lord is Chin Matra. Then he is creating all these things. Right? So this is the first line of 9th verse, which we discussed. And Prabhupada gave this analogy as well as another analogy of spark. So fire is there, sparks near the fire are very much fiery, but those sparks which are very far, they lose the fieriness, right? That is another example which Prabhupada gives. So now coming to Jiva's experience, this is, although Jiva is Ishvara, means he has capacity to control, actually. He has little bit independence, that's why he's called Ishvara. And he is Vimukta, although he is having some little bit independence and he is completely free from darkness and everything. Still he experiences karpanya and bondage and suffering. Why? So there is a example here. Like you have a great jewel in your neck, but you forgot it. And then you are searching everywhere, fearfully, where I forgot, like that. Or the other story, you have your specs here only, and you are looking at specs with great fear, where is gone, where it is gone. So it's like that. It's there actually. Like that example of a musk deer is given, that the pleasure is there within the person, but he is searching everywhere else. He has just forgotten where it is. So that is one example which is given by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. about the condition of Jiva, that he forgot that he has jewel. Or other way is that he has not done some crime for which he is accused by the minister. And I get accused of theft by mistake. Actually, I have not done theft. Though it is not my fault, but get punished by the state official. So this is another thing. So this is happening why? Because of Anadi Avidya. Because of Jiva's association with beginningless ignorance, the Jiva forgets his knowledge and bliss and identifies with the body and the body's qualities. And thus he becomes unfortunate, Durbhagatva. He suffers. Whose fault is that? So it is said that there is no cause. That's the 10th verse. 10th verse says that what it says, anartham yad arthena vinamusha pumsam atma viparyaya. So there is no cause or particular reason for it that this is happening. Because anadi avidya means beginningless ignorance, like that is said. So that is the second line of this verse, the 9th verse. Because the jiva has possibility of some small amount of power, he is called Ishwar. Losing his powers by association of ignorance, he wanders around like a madman, like a man with a bad wife. So actually, bad wife is nothing but our materialistic intelligence, which identifies with the body, as told by the Prachini Varishat, right? The Puranjan episode. So like that. So he is thinking in ignorance, he has all these things. Actually, it is not there. So how it is happening? That is happening because of, so Prabhupada also explains the Ved Vyasa's vision, right? So Ved Vyas is seeing these two things simultaneously, which we are supposed to see in the matter. Then we will go into Samadhi. So Lord is there, then his internal energy is there. Around him, it cannot leave him. Krishna, and the behind portion, a dark portion, or the Lord's behind is Avidya, right? Bahiranga Shakti. So that is Tamas Swarupa, beginningless ignorance in form of darkness, right? So Lord is there, or if you can see the side view of the same thing, is like this. So there is the Supreme Lord here, and there is full effulgence, and light is here, enlightened, enlivened devotees. So there is Antaranga Shakti, and there Nitya Siddha, Sadhana Siddha Bhaktas are serving the Lord. So it is completely Lord, Bhagavad Unmukh. They are able to perceive Lord. So there is no darkness there. But as the behind the Lord, Bahiranga Shakti is there. Or Bahiranga Shakti is sleeping, as we heard earlier. In the spiritual world, she was sleeping. Why? Because it's darkness. When she got up, then there is a darkness that side, right? Behind the cloud. In the entire material world, there is cloud of Prakriti or Mahat Tattva. And there is a darkness. So that is behind the Lord, which is darkness. So it covers the jiva with beginningless ignorance, right? So it by 5 coverings. So only way to come. So Tatastha Shakti means it has both options. Ishwar. Right? So that's how now this will be explained in the future verses. So putting all things in the context now, through the Chatushloki and these 3 chapters, we are understanding the material world is composed of 2 things. There is reality and there is unreality. So reality is pradhan. The 24 elements are real. But the perception of 24 elements, the experience of 24 elements is unreal, which is given by the avidya potency. So material world composed of real and unreal is produced by pradhan and avidya. And this wrong perception is clarified by vidya, which is Sankhya, Yoga, Vairagya, and Tapas. Right? So this is the function of external energy. Vidya, Avidya, and Pradhan. So this, how this Pradhan is created right from the Sarga, we saw that in that stepwise, right, in the previous two chapters. Now, how the tendencies are created, which are not real, the experiences of material world, are explained in these three verses 9, 10, and 11, the function of external energy. So, yes, so now we will go to the 10th verse. Yeah, before that, yeah, Mataji had something. Yes, please go ahead.
Just a clarification, because when you were explaining this Chatushloki, Jnana and Vijnana, but you said is that both are external energy. One is like Vidya, part of the external energy, and other is Avidya, part of the external energy, the beginningless ignorance. My confusion was that normally Jnana, when we say Vidya, we refer it with the internal energy, like when
No.
you
No,
know.
that's what I'm telling. That's why I'm showing you. These three functions are external energies functions.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying when you say bhakti, so bhakti is not there here. Okay. Don't think bhakti to be vidya. Bhakti is not there here. So vidya potency of the external energy has these four aspects. When someone does some analysis like Sankhya philosophy, someone practices vairagya, or someone does some tapasya, or someone does some yoga, then he starts seeing the reality. But it is function of external energy only. This vidya which removes avidya. So both are functions of external energy only. It is showing you material world only. That pot and cloth is existing. The avidya doesn't show you, and it shows you snake and scorpion, which is not existing. But vidya will show the pot and cloth in the material world only. And snake and scorpion is not seen, which is not existing. So this is all in the dark, that room only. But what is bhakti is antaranga shakti's function. Bhakti is beyond all this. So
But then Vidya only will take us to Bhakti, or like
no,
Vidya also is not needed for
not
that.
needed. Not needed. Bhakta is needed to take us to bhakti. Bhakta,
Okay.
the devotee who has mercy of Bhakti Devi, Antaranga Shakti in his heart, he is needed to make us Krishna Unmukh. As soon as Jiva becomes Krishna Unmukh, he start seeing the reality. So that way, it is clear that Vidya potency is not Antaranga Shakti.
I have to read more. I have to
One simple
understand.
example can be understood that there are Vidya, see, the five layers of avidya are there, right? Avidya, Asmita, Rag, Dvesh, Abhinivesh, or Swarupa Avaran. So Swarupa is covered. Means what? I am the spirit soul, I am servant of Krishna. This is covered by avidya. And Asmita is, it throws you in saying that you are this body, you are a brahmachari, you are Indian. So this is these two things. And the children of this I am brahmachari is raga, dvesha, is you like something which is connected to the body, and you dislike something which is coming in between the enjoyment. And becoming absorbed in that is abhinivesh. So these two things. So by practicing Sankhya, Yoga, austerity and Vairagya, you can remove these four layers actually. You can come to the level of I am not this body, I am spirit soul. But one will not understand that he is servant of Krishna. Just as the example of Shaubari Muni or Vishwamitra Muni, they were completely realized I am Brahman. So by Vidya potency. But again, the Vidya potency, because of some incidences, they again went back to enjoying the matter, right? Because the complete avidya cannot be removed, right? So that's how the only Bhakti Devi can award us the realization of who we are as a servant of Krishna. So Vidya potency cannot. So that's by example we can understand that one has given up 60,000 years, he was completely experiencing Atma. But still again he wanted to go into the matter. Right? So,
Can I ask one
yeah.
more simple? Like now, my another question is like, where we are, like as a devotee, like where I think I am, like where I am standing now, like
Yeah.
we are
So
still attached to the matter. We are still not come up from this, but we understand. We are
we are
getting some
sadhakas.
understanding,
Yes, we are
and
sadhakas.
we have mercy of a devotee. So all
Yes.
these three are there. Then my confusion is where I am, where I'm standing now.
Yeah, we are here in between. We have started becoming Krishnonmukh by Guru's grace. So we are seeing Krishna sometime, and sometimes we are getting attracted to Maya. So like that, sometimes we are here, sometimes we see here. Right? So because Ashesha Sanklesha Samam Vidyate. So we have not fully attracted to Krishna. That's why we are. So it's a sadhaka stage, all of us, including myself, that then these things are there, na? Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. Whereas Prahlad is not having like that. He is there, he is tortured, he is distressed, but he is seeing the Lord everywhere, he is experiencing the Lord. So there is no effect. Amrish Maharaj, there is no effect. He is not even fearful, neither he is angry. Neither he is. So that is the perfected devotees, and we aspire. So currently, we are sadhakas. So we have not fully realized as Prahlad and Amrish. Right? So that is my condition. So tatastha means sometimes we look here, sometimes we look here. Krishnonmukh. But what is happening with Prahlad? Prahlad is seeing the Lord. Ito Narsimha, Parto Narsimha, Yato Yami, Tato Narsimha. He is able to perceive the Supreme Lord and experience Supreme Lord everywhere and in everything. And that is what is supposed to be experienced by us. And that is the second Chatusloki actually. That water, okay, you are seeing matter, you like some matter, you understand, wait a minute, this attraction is not because of the matter, it is because of the Supreme Lord. Rasoham apsu kamte. Till the enjoyment of sex life. Everything is experienced because of the thread which is there behind the money. Sutre mani ganaiva. So that is the principle. So that's our practice. That's why I was telling Vijnana is this. This practice is Vijnana. So that is our condition. Yes, Radhatishti Gopesh, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji. I had one question. So when we say this Vidya potency, so in terms of three modes of material nature, we say the symptom of mode of goodness is Sukham and Jnanam. So can we say that that Jnanam is actually the Vidya potency?
Perfect.
Okay.
That's why it's very difficult to preach to the people who are in mode of goodness because they will not be suffering so much. Like here in Pune, Radheshampu would say to us that you go to Sadashiv Pet, where there are Brahmanas. You try to preach to them. If you make one into devotee, you will go back to Godhead. It's like it's very difficult to preach to them. Jnanam and Sukham, they have not done anything wrong. They are living pious life. Of course, that is that time. Not that now they are living like that. So it's a Vidya potency only. They are in Maya only. That's why it is called as rope. No, we call it as the chain of gold. But it's chain only, no? Chain of gold is goodness. Chain of iron is silver is passion. Chain of iron is tamogun. But they all are chains only in the metal world. So that is perfect. Whereas a person who is passionate, he's practicing bhakti is far more better than that. Because he is on the right path towards the Supreme. Right? So what you are saying is correct. So let us go ahead now.
Sorry,
So
sorry.
we
On
will
this
do
slide
another
itself, one question, Prabhu.
yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, so When you say this, you actually answered it sometime back. I remember that, but I just want a clarification. Tatastha Sakti means conditioned souls, and we see the Nitya Siddha and Sadhana Siddha Bhaktas there. The Tatastha Sakti souls can actually go and then become one of the Sadhana Siddha Bhaktas, right? That means, are we saying the conditioned souls means there are unconditioned souls eternally available, which is the Nitya Siddhas? Correct.
Yeah.
So, which shloka do you actually refer to actually explain this portion to?
This is from
I mean, there are two
Vedas.
kinds, right? There are two kinds of living entities, but which shloka do we normally actually refer for this?
Yeah, so what is there in front of you is from commentary of Vedas vision only. It is
Okay.
just portrayed in form of a picture. So now Anadi Avidya is described in current next verse. I will show you.
Okay.
Anadi Avidya means we in the darkness, beginning like ignorance, which is in form of darkness. So there the conditioned souls think that they're conditioned like that. So why question comes? But that's what Vidura is asking, right? That how is it that Sachitananda Jiva is getting affected by bondage and suffering? He has nothing to do with that. So 10th verse is beginning with that only. Yana Arthena Vina. What is that? Let us see that verse. Yeah, this one. Yad Arthena Vina Mushya Pumsaha Atma Viparyaya. That without any reason, without any cause, the Jiva has misidentified himself for what he is not. Atma Viparyaya. Right? So this beginningless ignorance, this is the word used in this particular purport by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami. So,
Yeah, this is what is very confusing. How can it be without a reason? How will it be beginningless?
yeah, that's
We
why.
didn't come.
So that's why we have to accept without any, there is no cause or reason behind this beginningless ignorance. But good thing is there is end, right? Ignorance is beginningless, but there is end to liberation can begin, right? So this
That
is
is there.
what. How it happened, there is no cause for it. That's what is said by Maitreya Muni, and he has heard from the Supreme Law. Yad
Thank you,
arthena
Prabhu.
vinamash.
Yeah, this never actually end. We'll move on. No problem. Thank you so much.
Yes. So that's why what happens? Pratiyata upadrishtah swara chidde swashira cheda adikaha. So just as in a dream, person sees his head cut off. Is it real? Can you see if head is cut off, then how can you see? But still he is seeing. So it's not real actually. Right? So Prabhupada begins the whole purport of that verse by that. In a classroom, some mischievous boys are there. So they are doing something mischief. So teacher says that he chastises them that I will cut your head and you will see your head here hanging. So the student becomes fearful and stops mischief. Something like that. So Prabhupada gives that example. So it's like a dream. It's not a fact. That's why Prabhupada uses the word superfluous. The miseries of material existence are superfluous. It's like a dream. So what is the reason? No. No cause, no reason. That's why. That's why Srila Prabhupada at many places writes this, that one cannot find out the history of the jiva becoming conditioned. Have you read that anywhere? Prabhupada writes at least 2 to 3 places I have read it. Still we get question. So we have to say that statement to Prabhupada statement to us that we cannot find out how it happened and all that. We can't. So in a dream, one sees the head being cut off. So how it is like that? So this is the example. That see, gold is there. Naturally, the pure gold has luster. But when it is kept in the darkness, does the luster go away? No. Luster doesn't go away, but because of darkness, it is covered. That's all.
Yeah, it goes on, Prabhu. Who kept it in the darkness? So very
Yeah.
difficult to understand this portion. Say darkness, I understand, but who kept that soul in the darkness? Say no reason, how is it possible? Someone created us. So it becomes very difficult to actually understand this
Yeah,
what goes on.
we are thinking in terms of time and place, right? So that is our conditioning. So we have to accept the fact that just as calculus I can't understand in second standard. So let us continue education. One day I will understand calculus. But faith is, calculus is true. It is there described. Many people have understood and all that. Hmm. So as I don't know, Prabhupada or Prabhupada disciples say, once you go back, you will know that something like that. Why I said. So billion cluster of gold and silver is lost. It is not lost by darkness. It is covered. Or just as very brilliant ruby destroys even darkness, the life of devotee destroys the ignorance. So that is the association. Okay. So when we come in touch with devotee, then he shows us the Lord. Right? That is a devotee. If devotee is showing himself, he is not a devotee. You should show the Lord. You should show the Lord and the devotee who is in love with God. Then the darkness goes away. So that is the 10th verse which we are going to begin now. So Mother Gomati Ganga Devi, you have something?
Yes, Prabhuji. So that means, as you say, Vidya and Avidya are both under the external energy. So that means someone can, with the knowledge, can come to the Vidya platform, like those scientists and all that thing, they are actually on the Vidya platform, they have the knowledge. So when we say, when we have a spiritual master, we are always saying, Home Ajnana Timiram Dasya, Jnana Vasalakya. So that just actually what exactly that it means. That it means that when it
Actually, I'm sorry, Mataji. I'm not able to have clear voice. I don't know how. You said something about spiritual master. I don't know. Others are able to hear. They can repeat the question.
It's very low, Prabhu.
No,
Very low, Prabhu. Yeah.
her voice is very
Actually,
low.
it is not low, but it is not clear for me. It is having sufficient sound. The clarity is not there. I'm not able to catch the words.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
This is nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay, Prabhuji, as you say that the external energy, that avidya and vidya are both under the external energy. So someone like scientists and other those yogis, I mean, they come to the platform from avidya to vidya.
Yes.
And but it's not enough because bhakti only a spiritual master can bring us, because we don't understand that we are a servant of the Lord and our eternal function is devotional service. But then when we are saying to a spiritual master, Hom Agyana Timinasya Ganira Salakya, that verse, what does it exactly mean? Does it mean that the spiritual master is bringing us from avidya to vidya, and then through the process of devotional service, bringing
Perfect.
us to the Lord to bhakti?
Perfect. Thank you.
So I don't understand that.
Thank you. That's perfect. What you said is perfect because he awards us the vision, the ointment of knowledge of Lord and Bhakti. Bhakta, Bhakti, and Bhagwan. This is the essence of all knowledge, knowing these three things. He puts us ointment so that he gives knowledge so that we can see them. Right? Because the mercy of Guru is vision, not any service or something like that. That is all there. All services, all engagements are come to the vision of the Lord, the devotee, and bhakti. Right? So what you are saying is perfectly true. Om Ajnana Timirandasya. So darkness of ignorance. That's what is this. No, the behind the Lord is darkness of ignorance. Right? So he is putting us into the ointment. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Shalaka. Shalaka is like a paste. No? Like this paste is there. So he puts that in our eyes by his Sambandha Gyan, his Vani. So thus Chakshur Unmilitam Yena means what he does, he opens our eyes actually. Means what? To see the reality of Lord, because that's the only reality. What we are seeing with Charma Chakshu is not at all reality. So Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guravena. So I offer my respects to that Guru. So that's a perfect what you said, and it's perfect understanding. So let us go further now in these verses. So 10th verse, I will just show the slides first and then we'll go to the purport. So I have already said. So Yad, yeah, someone can read the translation after I recite this verse, 10th verse. Yadarthena vinamashya pumsah atmaviparyayah pratiyata upadrashtuh swashirashchedanadikaha. Yeah, please read the translation
And
from.
answers by Maitreya. Jiva situated behind Lord in darkness appears to have lost knowledge.
Mataji,
Example.
translation, not the slide. Please read translation in front of you if you have.
Translation: The living entity is in distress regarding his self-identity. He has no factual background, like a man who dreams that he sees his head cut off.
Yeah. So this is the translation of this verse. Right? Yad arthena vinamushya pumsam atma viparya. Pratiyata upadrashtu swashira swashiracheda adika. So in a dream, person is told. So Prabhupada writes there about these things. So let us see that now. And then go to the 10th and 11th verse. Yeah. So here is the word very important, pratiyeta. That's why Chatushloki has this. So what is appearing? What is perceived? One thing is you see, but one thing when you put your thought, then you perceive. When you process the things based on your experiences, then you perceive something. You get a vision. Right? So that's why I was telling the other day, VISION. We see things according to our state of consciousness. And that depends on our subconscious mind. That is our value, what we value, that is V. What is our inspiration, that is I. And what is our scriptural insight, that is the real way to see to the scripture. Scriptural insight, VISI. ON is all our obsessions and negativities. So we see through them also. But to the degree we hear from Guru Sadhu Shastra, we get scriptural insight through Sadhu and Guru also. Because they see through scriptures, so they also show us. And then our value systems and inspirations change. So it is not that everyone sees things as everyone sees. Like you take a photo of something and everyone sees like that. No, everyone sees different. That's why the word is there, pratiyeta, the perception. The perception of head being cut off is imaginary, but that happens for the jiva. Why? Without any purpose or cause. That is what is told. Arthena vinamush. So you can see. So this already. So you can see here very clearly it is given. Right? I am not saying. Tatra bhagavatah prushtasthitaya anadi avidyaya tamaswarupaya. So there by the external energies function called avidya, which is of nature of darkness, which is present behind the Lord, Anadi Vaimukya Rupa Bhagavata Prushta Sthananam Jivanam. Those who are jivas who are behind the Lord, situated behind the Lord, they are Anadi Vaimukya. They are beginninglessly averse to the Lord. Their knowledge is covered. Jnanam yallupteta. Tasya na vastutvam. Actually, it's not factual. One will ask, what is the cause? Karanam napi prayojanam. Kimapi asti. It has no cause, neither it has any goal. But it is there. And the nature of tamas is that it covers the jiva's insignificant effulgence. Because that is very dark behind the Lord. So although Jiva has effulgence, but it is covered. Tamasa swabhava evayam yachina tejasena lupyate it ah. So that is what is it. So here arthena means vastuna, karanena, prayojanena, cha vinayamushya. Pumso jivasya atma viparya jnanat adi bhramsha pratiyat. Right. So there is no cause or purpose for Jiva doing this. The nature of tamas is that it eclipses the power of Jiva, who has small power. Right? That's why actually, now coming to Vidya, by just understanding I am not this body, I am spirit soul, it's just like you get the reality of little bit of reality of material world, not full. One becomes fearless to some extent. Like understanding two topics of Bhagavatam. Everything is created, everything is destroyed. Sarga and Nirodha, if you understand, that is compared to lamb. Right? One will become fearless. But is the goal of Bhagavatam becoming fearless? No. That is just a side effect. So it has some little bit of knowledge. So that's why these people do good for others, right? Sarva bhuta hite rata. Because they understand the reality. So because of Maya, the loss of knowledge and bliss of the Jiva appears to be without cause or goal. Vina artha. And the word meaning artha is given. Artha has so many meanings. Objects of senses like artha. Wealth also, cause also, thing also, meaning of the word, prevention. So example is given. This example, dream head cut off. And other two examples which I already told. Right? So one is about the gold. In the darkness, his shining has not gone, but it is just covered. Or it can, shining brilliant ruby can destroy the darkness. That is the devotee. That's why Nitya Siddhas are sent in the backside of the Lord by the Lord. Lord sends the scriptures, Lord sends the pure devotees. Lord personally also comes in this darkness. Right? So that is the thing. So let us see Prabhupada's purport. So Prabhupada elaborated, I did this elaboration that the teacher is mischief students is becomes frightened that I will cut your head and you will see your head hanging here. Right? So in his pure consciousness, when he thinks a little seriously about his position, he can understand that he is eternally subordinate to the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And that his attempt to become one with Supreme Lord is false illusion. So now Prabhupada begins to punch on Mayavadis only directly. Aham Brahmasmi people. That is the biggest illusion. Why it comes? Because see, first a jiva wants to lord over in the darkness. Tries to lord over, understand that I can't enjoy. So he wants to become God. So this is another side. Enjoy, and then get frustrated, then escape. And Aham Brahmas, Shanti. So both are creation of the same Maya. One is Tamoguni Maya and one is Tattvaguni Maya. That's all. That's Tattvaguna Ahankar, whatever it is. I is still there, right? I will become Lord. So that is another state of Maya. So that's what Prabhupada is explaining here. Life after life, living entity falsely tried to lord it over material nature and become Lord of the material world. But there is no tangible result. He tries. Although so many people tried, he also tries because of the advertisements. But he also, if he is intelligent, even he understands that, okay, this is not the way to become happy. When frustrated, he gives up his mental activities and tries to become one with the Lord and speculate with much jugglery of words without any success. So this is the Advaita Mayavada. So this is all under illusory energy. Right? So they have got some level of vidya, but their complete knowledge, true ego is not awakened. They will come to the level of false ego giving up. I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Okay, but what spirit soul is supposed to be done, that they don't know. So that's why they are into Vidya only. So yeah, so it's a hallucination. It's the perception of it is hallucination. So he artificially thinks Aham Brahmasmi, and although he is God, he has lost his knowledge due to Maya. Like that they say. Like as I told you, the philosophy of Mayavadis is the Brahman comes under mode of goodness. Right? That's why. That's why he has forgotten his knowledge. When mode of goodness is removed, he will come to reality. No. This conception has no meaning, just as there is no meaning to seeing one's head cut off. This is the process by which knowledge is covered. So that is the piece. So this is all punching to the Mayavadis that they think oneself to be God is the last snare of Maya, last reaction of avidya, which is tapped. Only way is awakening servitude. Even the impersonalist or Brahmavadis, if they are not offenders to Lord's form, but they also need bhakti to actually attain that Brahman. Okay. Without bhakti, it's not possible. So they accept it. Bhakti as a means they accept, and that bhakti awards them Brahman realization. His servitude under the spell of illusory Maya is also manifestation of external condition of service, eternal condition of service. So he's serving external energy only. So either we serve external energy or we serve internal energy. Service is our constitution. So what is the best course of action? Don't enjoy, don't try to escape, but engage by Saranagati. That is the only and the only way. Saranagati. Daivi Hesha Gurmai No Maya Duratya. Mameva ye prapaddante Maya Metanta. So very difficult to overcome. Only one who surrenders to me can cross over this. So best course of action is Sharanagati. Now, the same imagination is explained by one analogy in the next verse. Why it is explained? Because you will see that okay, the knowledge and bliss of the jiva may be covered. Okay, I understood. Because of darkness, it was covered. But why person becomes attached in this world? Why he becomes shoka, moha, bhaya, all these things, why it comes to him? If someone asks the how jiva attains the qualities of attachment, hatred, lamentation, and illusion and lust. So that question is answered in the next verse. So very beautiful verse. Yatha jale chandramasah kampadistatkrato gunaha drishyate sannapi drashto atmanonatmano gunaha. Yeah, please. Oh, I have not shared the screen. Yeah. Please read the translation. Who is the next?
As the moon, reflected on water, appears to the seer to tremble due to being associated with the quality of water, so the self associated with matter appears to be qualified as matter.
Yeah. So the reason of these qualities, you see, Vishwanath Thakur, the knowledge and bliss of jiva may be covered. Okay. But how does jiva obtain the qualities such as attachment, hatred? Because of identifying with it. Right? Just as this. The moon is there. Moon is very far actually. Moon is not moving. But moon appears to quiver on the reflection when it is seen on water. Right? So actually moon is moving or no, it's not moving. But it appears to move. So that is the analogy given. The qualities such as lamentation, illusion belong to antakaran, anatmana. So antakaran is also matter, subtle matter. Right? Which has four aspects, right? Chitta, man, buddhi, ahankara. So this whole thing put together is called antakkara, which is not spirit. Anatmanaha. The word is used, no? Atmano anatmano guna. So the spirit soul accepts the qualities of that which is not spirit, anatmana. That is called antakkara. So these qualities belong to antakkara. They do not belong to the jiva, atmana. So drishyate asannapi, asan. Asan means they don't belong to atmana, but jiva, which is seer actually. Drashta. Drashtur means he is a seer actually. He is not experiencer, he is seer, but he thinks he is experiencing. Just as a very gross example of car. That actually someone, if one is attached to the car, new car, when someone scratches on the car, you feel it is scratching on me only. But it is different. Right? We are seer of the scratch on the car. But we are not the car. That is ahankar. Actually, if someone scratches on body also, we are not. That's what Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was experiencing. Right? My dear cancer cells, you are and me are in the same car or same body. That's what he had realized. And Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was saying that I can't exchange any other situation than this. And he was with his friend and they were singing the glories of Lord. So that is the realized person. So those here, though they appeared to be so, the appearance takes place by imposition of the subtle world. So when soul imposes himself on the body, okay, I am this body, I am this mind, I am this ahankar. Then what happens? Then this antakaran moves, then he feels that I am also moving. So the qualities of moving water are identified by the moon. Actually, it is not happening to him. Right? So that's the point. Example is given to show how imposition of illusion takes place. The trembling imposed on the moon's image in the water appears to be trembling of the moon. Though actually the moon is not trembling, but the water is trembling. Moon is not trembling. So this is the imposition, superimposition that I am this. Actually, this is what uh, Asmita does, the second function, that it throws us, he makes us understand you are this, you are Indian, you are brahmachari, you are grihastha, you are sannyasi, like that. So you are made. So that is Asmita. Right? And because of that, then we identify. Actually, we are seer only. So that's what is this verse explaining. So going to Prabhupada purport. So Prabhupada also elaborates this. Similarly, the living entities appear to be tainted by material qualities like illusion, lamentation, miseries. Although the pure soul, such qualities are completely absent. The words pratiyate, which means apparently or not actually, like experience of having one's head cut off in a dream, is significant here. So actually this word is there in which verse? It's in previous verse, right? So that's how Prabhupada is referring to that. So this verse, 11th verse. Pratiyate word is there in the previous verse. So that's how they are all connected. So this is the analogy. The separated part and parcels of Lord entangled in the water of material existence have the quivering quality. Whereas the Lord is like the actual moon in the sky, which is not at all in touch with water. The light of the sun and moon reflected on water makes the matter bright and praiseworthy. So this is another concept which is being told here. It is exactly like, yeah, what is that verse? Everything in this material world is just a splendor of Krishna's beauty. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimat uchitam eva tattad evavagachatvam mama tejamsa samvam. So everything is valuable, attractive is because of that Lord, the moon. So that's why we say, no, perverted reflection. So it's a very deep analogy which is given in Bhagavad Gita also. Urdhva Moolam Adha Shakham Ashwatham Prabhurabhe. Right? So the platform on which reflection happens is the desire, the river of desire. So the reflection is because of that, and one gets entangled in the reflection. But the pleasure of reflection is also because of the original. Right? That's what Prabhupada is saying. The light of sun and moon is only making the reflection shine, reflection bright, reflection praiseworthy. The living symptoms are compared to the light of sun and the moon, illuminating material manifestations like trees and mountains. So it is going beyond the analogy now, right? So because of the sun and moon, you see the quivering sun and moon, right? But because of them only, you can see other things also, right? In the lake, you see trees are there which are reflected, and there are some houses also, or other things like mountain are reflected. So they are also reflections only. The reflection of sun and moon or moon is accepted as real sun and moon by less intelligent man. And the pure monastic philosophy develops from these ideas. So Prabhupada is telling about beginning of Mayavad. So they think that actually that sun and moon are we only. No, sun and moon is supreme law. In fact, light of sun and moon are actually different from sun and moon themselves. So now Prabhupada is going one step ahead. The light as Aham Aditya Gato Tejam Jagat Bhasayate Khilam, right? So I am the light of sun and moon. That Prabhupada is going to the next level. Although they are always connected, the light of the moon spread throughout the sky appears to be impersonal, but the moon planet as it is personal, and the living entities on the moon planet are also personal, which cannot be seen by the scientist. In the rays of the moon, different metal entities appeared to be comparatively more or less important. Right? The light of the moon on Taj Mahal appears to be more beautiful than the same light in the wilderness. So now Prabhupada is going to the next level of analogy. That the same moonlight also makes something more beautiful, and other time it is nothing. Although the light of the moon is the same everywhere, due to being differently appreciated, it appears different. Similarly, the light of the Lord is equally distributed everywhere, but due to being differently received, it appears different. So that's how the pure devotee sees. Lord is everywhere in everything. How they are able to see that everyone is reflecting differently. Some Taj Mahal light, it looks so beautiful. Taj Mahal looks so beautiful because it is reflecting. Whereas other places, it doesn't look anything. So it's based on the receiver of the light, right? So one should not therefore accept the reflection of moon on water as actual and misunderstand the whole situation through monastic philosophy. So see, this Mayavad is so deep rooted. So he's telling don't accept this Mayavad philosophy. The quivering quality of moon is also variable. When the water is standing still, there is no quivering, right? So he's going the other side. A more settled condition soul quivers less. But due to metal connection, the quivering quality is more or less present everywhere. Right? So this is seen by a pure devotee one. Like Ambrish Maharaj didn't quiver. And Durvas Muni was also not quivering. But when he started quivering, when the Sudarshan Chakra came, then he started quivering. But Ambrish Maharaj was not quivering for a moment because he was completely connected to the Supreme Lord. So different people have different level of quivering. For some appear very peaceful. But only person who is peaceful is a pure perfected soul. That's why, like Prahlad Maharaj was not quivering at all. And Hiranyakashipu and everyone else was quivering by troubling him. They were completely frustrated. because of that. So Prabhupada here is bringing a very amazing purport. This is, he takes the whole analogy to a different level only, and it has to be read again and again. It's like it goes from one thing to other thing to other thing, and a lot of things are discussed in this purport actually. So that is what is told. So this is the entirety of description of Vijnana, the second Chatushloki, which has to be practiced for experience. And the whole purpose of Sushti Lila is to begin there. That understand technically that Lord is there in everything and everyone. And He is giving us the experiences. So that's how the context is that currently. So yes, Venkat, go ahead, you have something, Mataji?
Yes,
Raised hand.
Prabhuji, I was wondering how that quivering of the reflection of the moon in the water is connected to the Mayavada philosophy. Can you please explain?
Repeat it, Prabhuji, you have told again.
Actually, they say that the the moon, we are the moon only. Moon, they don't accept it to be Supreme Lord. And we are the rays of the moon. They say that we are moon only. Like
I see.
that's the foundational thing. Now, with this background, when you read like here, then you will understand. Because Prabhupada is going to say that the sun and moon light is also not coming from there. Right? It is coming from moon planet and moon god and all that. So he is taking one principle and going to the other level, which is not explained here.
Okay.
So same thing is told. Chakravarti Thakur writes that. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, this is very nice. So this all already we discussed. Now you see, moon is perceived by a person on living on moon to have a face, nose, hands, feet, ornaments, vehicle, and associates. Right? Soma is very very powerful person. He has done Ashwamedh Yajna, but he became proud. The example may be compared to perception of Bhagwan. So this, he spreads out rays from his Swarupa and realized by those situated somewhat close to have some specific qualities, and realized by those situated far off to have no specific quality. So this is an example of seeing Lord as Paramatma and Brahman. So this is what Prabhupada was explaining. See, someone who is close to moon god can see his personality, his nose, hands, and all that. Right? But those who are far from moon god, they will see him as Paramatma. Okay, very nice warmth. And those who don't even able to see moon but experience the moonshine are like Brahman realize. So the abundant rays extending externally in form of circle around the moon are like the mass of jivas. The rays are then perceived as reflection on water. So you see the jivas, there are some jivas which are near to the moon and some are reflecting here. Actually what is reflected is rays only, not even the moon. That's what is told here. The mass of jiva is only perceived as reflection, though they are not actually reflection. Because of perception of real rays in the water, that reflection imposed on water takes up the qualities of water, such as quivering. Just as reflection of rays on the moon take on quivering, which is a quality of water, the jivas take on the lamentation and illusion, which are qualities of antakaran because of that imposition. The individual rays emanating all round may be compared to the individual jivas. So this is the elaboration of the same analogy. So what Mayavadis, they don't accept this. So that's why they are very far from the Mayavadis are very far, even Brahmavadis I'm saying. They are not going closer to the moon. Who is moon? Very, very far. So they perceive some reality but not full reality. So that he is explaining. Okay. Anything else about what we discussed? This is Chatushloki second, which is Vigyan, which is very important. So this is the only place which is explained by Maitreya Muni. In entire, of course, entire Bhagavatam is description of this Chatushloki only. 4 Chatushlokis. So let us go ahead from there now. So this till 11th. Yeah, so in slide I'm seeing. Yeah, so this is C. Yeah, so this was the Upadan Karan, which we saw in the previous verse, the Pradhan, how it created, how stepwise Lord is involved in creating the real Pradhan, 24 element. And now this is the efficient cause that is explaining. So external energy, avidya, is the efficient cause of our experiences, which are unreal, right? They are not real. So material world is combination of both, right? So that's how we understand this. This is what Bhagavat, Vimukh and Bhagavat. So that's why that verse is there. Na? Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatasya. Ishad apetasya viparyayah smati. Tanmaya bhajettam bhakteka esham guru devata. So the Vimukta is the core cause of fear. So as soon as we become Bhagavat Unmukh, even if we are on darkness but start seeing the Lord, then there is light. Tamasoma Jyotirgam. So this is what is explained, what we discussed today. Right? So the questions are answered. Now Vidura becomes very, of course, Vidura is not going to speak. Now he will tell how to come out of this by bhakti. So that is the explanation of fourth Chatushloki. Okay. Now the next 2 verses are explanation of sadhana, the fourth Chatushloki. You can see here. So 3.7.12 and 13, which are the next 2 verses, are sadhan bhakti. The practices, what we have to do. And 14th is what we began with. So let us see these 2 verses quickly. And 14th is the verse which we began with. Right? The glory of Bhagavad. Gunanuvadha Shravanam Murari. So that's how the Chatushloki is explained. The text 12. Savai nivritti dharmena vasudevanukampaya bhagavad bhakti yogena tirodhatte shanairiha. Yeah, please read.
But that misconception of self identity can be diminished gradually by the mercy of the personality of Godhead Vasudeva through the process of devotional service to the Lord in the mode of detachment.
So, Nivritti Dharma. So, here both processes are explained, Bhakti Mishra Gyan and Shuddha Bhakti. But this particular verse is specifically, so by both, the ignorance gradually disappears by Bhakti Mishra Gyan arising from destruction of impression of subtle body, and by Bhakti arising by the mercy of Lord coming through devotees. So, both things are there. So, Nivritti Dharmena is one process, which is Vidya, or as I told, Bhakti Mishra Jnana, and Vasudevanukampaya is Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti. So both are Bhakti, Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga. Tirodhate, gradually, is this ignorance, the darkness gradually removes. So how can the Jiva be delivered? By this, either Guni Bhakti or Pradhani Bhakti or Kevala Bhakti. Right? So that's what is told here. Bhakti, but how bhakti arises? By mercy of Lord through devotees. Vasudevanu kampaya. But how? Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga. So that comes by devotees. Thus the meaning is that destruction of ignorance takes place either by jnana or bhakti. This takes place gradually, shanaihi, according to various stages of anartha nivrutti. Right? So as the anartha nivrutti happens, that much darkness is removed. Right? So it's a gradual process. So Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, Prabhupada quotes, as practices bhakti becomes detached. Right. Lord Vasudeva is pleased by devotional service only, and thus his mercy is realized by association with pure devotees. Yeah. So Lord's mercy is realized by association with Premi Bhaktas. Pure devotees of Lord are transcendental to all material desires. So this is not sadhaka, right? This is Bhakta who is perfected, because it's transcendental to all material desires, including the desire of results of fruitive activities and philosophical speculation. If one wants to acquire the mercy of Lord, he has to associate with pure devotees. Such association alone, by degrees, release one from the quivering elements. Amazing statement this is. So there is no other way. We have to associate with those who are never quivering in their life. Then only we'll stop quivering. If we associate with quivering, then we will quiver. So that's why it is a must. Pure, perfected devotees association is must. While living in the association of all other devotees who are sadhakas, we should respect them, serve them, try to please them. But the whole consciousness is to execute the order of a perfected pure devotee guru. Right? He is not sadhaka, he never quivers. So we have to Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittite Kariyai. So we has to associate Prabhupada. And in that association also gradually it will happen. So as Shanaihi is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, through stages of Anartha Nivritti, Prabhupada is telling, by degrees of Anartha Nivritti, he will gradually clear less, and then become steady. So that is what is told in this verse. So next verse we will just see. Yadendriya yo paramatha Yadendriya upaparamo atha drashtra atmani pareharav viliyante tada kleshah samsuktasyeva kritsnashah. Yeah, please read.
Rasika Lakhi Mataji. When the senses are satisfied in the seer super soul, the personality of Godhead, and merge in him, all miseries are completely vanquished, as after a sound sleep.
So now last verse said Shanaihi Tirohita. Gradually it removed through the stages of Anartha Nivritti in degrees. To the degree we associate with pure devotee, that is for Bhakti Yogi, Kevala Bhakti Yogi, and for Jnani also. So when that Anartha Nivritti will be complete, that is answered in this. So when one's senses become fixed on the attractive law, who is beyond the material influence, and who glances upon his devotee with mercy, then it is removed. Then the suffering disappear completely. Like the complete disappearance of suffering in deep sleep. So that analogy is given. From deep sleep there is no suffering. So when he receives the glance of love. So when Arthanitra, so for Jnani, it takes place when the senses and the functions of mind are destroyed. So for Jnani, he will do naiti, right? So this is indicated by example of removal of active senses during deep sleep, right? So he does naiti, he stays in seclusion and practices jnana. When the jiva realizes Paramatma, so for him, Paramatma realization. So fifth chapter Bhagavad Gita explains such jnani gradually understand that he is Atma, and Atma is there in everyone, but Paramatma is also there. Vidya Vinaya Sampanna, right? So he sees Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Mai Pashyati. That is the stage which is explained here. So when that jiva by jnana process realizes Paramatma and Brahman, Bhagavan by bhakti arising from anga of jnana, the suffering stops. So here bhakti is little bit only. So example is given of complete destruction of suffering. For one who has achieved deep sleep, suffering such as lot of wealth or sun doesn't appear, disappear. So this is for Bhakti Mishra Jnana. Now for Bhakti. According to Bhakti, when the senses such as eye, ear become fixed in the Lord, who is attractive with beauty and other qualities. When the eye, ear, nose, skin, tongue, mind become completely absorbed in the beauty, voice, fragrance, softness of body, sweetness and cleverness of Lord, and no longer desire to experience material form. Sound, smell, touch, taste, thoughts. The suffering is distant for devotee. So this is bhava and prema. So right. So but the experiences starts before, right? So there is saundarya, sauswarya, saugandhya, saus mugdya, and sauswadya. Right? The sauswadya is the last, the taste. But the stages after nishtha, there is experience of this thing in shadow, right? So it is not that one day, no, it is a gradual. How this is so when it becomes completely absorbed in Lord's Nam Rup Gun Leela, Dham, Parikar, etc. Right? So that is how is that Lord described? He is by his Swarupa. Who is that Lord? The witness of devotee. So he is always looking at devotee. He glances at devotee with mercy. That is the Lord. An example of complete absence of suffering is given. It is like a person whose sleep is not broken by dreams. The suffering of seeing one's head cut off in a dream are destroyed. That way it is said. So, Gopal also elaborates. It is said that one ceases all material activities only when satisfied by contact with better ending. So, Param Drishtva Nivartate. So, Prabhupada is summarizing the whole thing explained here by Param Drishtva verse. That when one experiences Lord, that is the way to remove our absorption in matter. And it begins by ear. That's why na utpadayad yatiratim shama evahi. Consciousness is active by nature and cannot be stopped working. So again is Panchima Mayavadis here. Our activities must be so transcendentally saturated that the Lord will be kind enough to look upon us favorably and engage us in his transcendental service. Then only can the senses be satisfied completely and be no longer troubled by material attraction. So this is what we should aspire for and we should try. And this begins by hearing from those who are at that level. So Maitreya Muni, Vidura, Prabhupada, we are trying, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, all of them are at that level. We're trying to hear from them, applying what we have understood, etc. So that is the reading. So that's all. So we'll stop here, pause here. It's already 9:06. Thank you all very much for your patient hearing and participation. Nantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Maitreya Vidar Samvad ki jai, Chatushtaki Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. So if anyone wants to proceed, they can happily proceed. And in case if someone you want to clarify, correct or comment, they may stay back. Yes, does anyone has anything about what we discussed today? Any clarification or any correction or anything which you have studied in this direction or heard from some great source? You can share, it will be helpful. Yes, Mother Gomati Ganga.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Just want to understand, is it the very first creation that took place? Krishna, the Supreme Lord, has a desire to create, and then he took the form of Mahavishnu, and then the rest of the creation process goes on. And then when the following creation that take place, is it automatically happens, or is it like after dissolution there is a stop and then when Krishna desire again, then creation take place, or is it automatically goes on and just once Krishna have desired? That's what I was thinking. I want to clarify that, understand that.
Yeah, it is not actually when desire of creation of not present. So it is told there that there were some conditioned souls, they were with the Lord only, right? And they were there from previous annihilation. So that is described in the 3.5, right? So were dormant in him. So there was material existence before, right? So I'm just opening and showing you that. This is the 3.5. Prabhupada also says, and dormant is the word. You see here. So everything other than him, including his plenary expansion, Vishnu Tattva is his part and parcel. Before the creation, there were no these three Vishnus. Although the spiritual existence was there with the Lord, the material existence was dormant in him. By his will only material manifestation is done and undone. So what it shows is that desire to create was absent means he has created before. So sometime there was no creation. And again he created. So bhutva bhutva praliyate. This is what is happening. So now in our time and place conception, we generally tend to think when it began, the first one and all that. So there is nothing like that first in eternal zone. In eternality, there is nothing the first and second, right? It's eternally there. So it was not that this description of Maitreya Muni the first time when creation happened. No. It is not like that.
So that means the creation, destruction, maintenance happen continuously. So
Yeah,
it's not like, so after destruction, definitely it will come back to creation. It's not that after destruction, the law may not desire, so we may be in the Mahavishnu's body for some time until the Lord desire again, then we are again created. No, it just goes on. The process just goes on.
That's what Krishna is telling. Bhutva bhutva praliyate. In Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter is telling that this is again and again happening. Keeps on happening for eternity. So that's the thing. We have to try to go in the timeless zone to understand this.
I'm trying to understand the Sisti Lila. I've been reading a lot, so some questions bewilder me. So I'm just trying to get.
I also get this. I have this question, but
so I'm trying to get my thoughts. I'm going on the right direction. So I'm asking you these questions. So it's becoming clearer. Then the other question is, Prabhuji, when the final destruction take place, the living entities, the material energies, all goes back to the body of Mahavishnu, right? Then Shirodakshari Vishnu, he's always in his planet, the Svetadvi. Right? And how about Garbhodakshari Vishnu? Where does he go? Does he have a place to stay, or does he merge into Mahavishnu during the dissolution? Like Shirodakshari Vishnu, we know he's in the ocean of milk. So I'm just wondering, Garbhodakshari Vishnu goes where when destruction takes place?
Actually, what I understand from Brahma Samhita is that Mahavishnu is breathing out, then all these things are happening. When he breathes in, the universe also goes. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is sleeping inside. No? So he will also go inside. That's what is my understanding.
So that happens so fast.
Breathes in. It's all happening in one breath.
Wow.
That is Mahavishnu. That's why in recent that class which I was mentioning to you, he was telling that only. The Vidura was left with only breath. So that breath, all these things are happening in one breath of Mahavishnu. Can you imagine how big is that breath? So this is all. So yes, Mataji, it appears that everything goes within because it's all Lord's expansion. Na? Prabhupada is saying here that they also don't exist. Means what? They merge. Like here, what I showed you the purport, Prabhupada is saying na, that Vibhinna Amshas or Vishnu Tattvas are also not there. Before creation, there was no Karanyanavisha. Even Mahavishnu is not there, then what to speak of other Vishnus? Or you asked about Prakritik Pralaya. So, okay, other two Vishnus will go to Mahavishnu. That you can understand. But then one point of time, Mahavishnu also will not be there. Right? So, that is another step of when there is nothing.
Not there, but at the same time they are there because they're eternal incarnations, right?
Now here comes the point that Satyam, first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So what first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam tells us is there are two. Absolute truth is defined. That is correct, right? In the first verse. Absolute truth is defined. So absolute truth has two qualities. One is what you can say Swarup Lakshan and one is Tatastha Lakshan. So Swarup Lakshan is last line. Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. So he is eternally with the internal energy in the spiritual world, where there is no deception whatsoever. Kuhakam, nirasta kuhakam. There is no deception like that exists in the material world. So that is the last line is telling about the Swarupa Lakshana of the absolute truth. So that absolute truth includes all the jivas and everything. But the Tatastha Lakshana of absolute truth or the secondary quality of absolute truth begins by Janmadhyasya Yataha. So from whom comes the creation, maintenance, destruction? So the one who is completely independent, one who is completely all-knowing, Abhigya Swarat, and he created from him, he gave the knowledge to Brahma, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adhikavaye, and by which the material, so same thing actually, what we discussed today is the third line actually, right? What is that? Tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra tisargom musha. So the material world appears factual because of that absolute truth. Just as you are seeing some water in the desert. Desert is land, but you are seeing water. Actually, whether water is there? No. But because of his entrance, so this tatastha lakshan means temporary. These all things which are told in first three lines of first verse are not always present in the Lord. They are like Paramatma is Sarvagya. Bhagwan is not Sarvagya in one sense. In spiritual world, Krishna doesn't know what Yashoda is going to do next. You know, that Sarvagyata is not there. The Gopas wanted to enter Agasur. And then Krishna was reciprocating. He thought, hey, they should not enter, but then they entered because Leela Shakti. So he is not Sarvagya or Swarat there. Yashoda Mai can tie him up, right? Where is the independence? So Bhagwan, whereas this portion is temporary. So all these Vishnus, they are temporary. Right? Because material world itself is temporary. Material world, material universe, material existence. This is all temporary one. So that's why it is called Tatastha Lakshan of. Tatastha Lakshan means that which is not always present, inherently present, eternally present. That is called secondary quality. The primary qualities eternally are there and there is no deception there. It's all true. Param Satya, it's all true. Experiences are true and everything is true. So that way it is, that's what I think it makes sense that this
So
temporary.
that means in other words, like in material world, we only have one answer to one question. But in spiritual thing, in one question, we can have answer in different angles, but in each angles are all right.
Yeah, because there is
So
love. So everything is right. Everything
yeah,
is right is
so
love.
the material mind, we are so used to only one answer. So when we
Yes.
get different answers to one question, we are bewildered. So which is which, you know? What is the
Yes.
answer? This also is right, that also is right. Mahavishnu is there, he's also not there. He merged and he also not merged, he's eternally there. Because all the living entities are going into him, and if he's not there, then where do we go?
They will go in Bhagwan. That's why Bhagwan, it will be in Bhagwan. Whole wind up. Huh? That's what is happening.
Oh,
They
but
are there in
Bhagwan,
Bhagwan, in dormant within him.
oh, but Bhagwan means Supreme Person, Krishna.
Yeah, that Bhagwan is which Bhagwan is not told, but in my
Because
understanding, there are many Bhagwan in spiritual world, right? Swayam Bhagwan is Krishna. So Swayam Bhagwan has nothing to do with this.
yeah, exactly. So in the form of Vishnu.
Sankarshan, you can say second quadruple Sankarshan, Mahasankarshan. From Mahasankarshan comes Mahavishnu. So we can consider, this is philosophical speculation I am doing. It's not written. So it is there in the second quadruple expansion of Sankarshan, that we can assume based on what I studied.
And the first quadruplets become the Narayan, right? So that is the one
No,
in.
first quadruple is there in Dwarka, no?
Oh,
Yeah, Aniruddha and
ah,
see, Krishna Balaram in Goloka are the original. Original is Krishna, expansion into Balaram in Vrindavan. But first quadruple comes from that Moola Sankarshan, that is Balaram, that is coming in, then Vasudev Krishna and Sankarshan, and then Aniruddha and who I am missing? Fourth one? Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna. First Pradyumna, then Aniruddha. So they are there in Dwarka. First quadruple is in Dwarka. So they are doing all pastimes with each other. They are all Supreme Lord only. And there is one only. Whereas then there comes the Narayana, which you are talking about, from the Mool Sankarshan. And that from Narayana comes second quadruple. So second quadruples are there all over the Vaikuntha. There are unlimited forms, 400 forms, right? So they are explained by Lord Chaitanya to Sanatana Goswami. So there are unlimited Vaikuntha planets where, so second quadruple. So second quadruple are there in Vaikuntha. First quadruple is in Dwarka. Okay.
so the first Narayan expansion after the first
What?
Chaturvyuha, that Narayan is different from the second Chaturvyuha that Mahavishnu comes from the second Sankarsana, right?
Yes, that is called Mahasankarshan. Second Sankarshan is Mahasankarshan, which is there in second Chaturvi.
So from there
Mahavishnu.
comes the Purusha
Mahavishnu.
avatar.
Yes, Purusha
But the
avatar
first,
comes.
the four quadruplets, then comes Narayan, right? The first expansion.
Narayan is coming from Mool Sankarshan.
Mool Sankarsana. So this Narayan is not the one staying in the Vaikuntha with Lakshmi Narayan. Is referring to that, right? No.
Yes, we are referring to spiritual world only.
Ah, Lakshmi Narayan,
Yeah.
right?
We
Okay,
are not
okay.
talking about material world, spiritual world only I am talking.
Okay, because it's a bit confusing because we use Mahavishnu, all these words interchangeably referring to the same thing. Sometimes you get very
Yeah,
confused.
because Chaitanya Charitamrita has these differences. Gaudiya Siddhanta. This is nowhere given other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Swayam Bhagavan is explaining all these things. They are explained in many Shastras at different pockets. But in Sanatan Shiksha is the only place where hierarchy of avatars is told. Hierarchy that, who is Swayam Bhagavan, from where what is Vilas and Vaibhav Vilas, and so much complicated that. So there only all these things are there. The Supreme Lord himself is telling this. Lord Chaitanya to Sanatan Goswami.
Okay. We can only, as you say, we can only appreciate and accept and just move on and just pray for their mercy to understand because it's so very deep and
Yes,
very difficult to understand.
yes, it is difficult, but we can hear and we can appreciate and we can become more focused towards how glorious is what we are getting. It's so far and Mahaprabhu, Goloke Prem Dhan Harinam Sankirtan, what we say, there is a lot in between. All that is explained by Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami. Why we have to hear this? So that we become more exclusive towards Vrindavan Krishna. That's the whole point. As Prabhupada says in 18.66 that the most confidential part of knowledge is the form of Shyam Sundar Krishna with peacock feather and flute. This is 18.65 purport of Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita. One should not get diverted to other incarnations, Narsimha, etc. Because it's the most confidential part of knowledge. So somehow that most confidential part Prabhupada has distributed like water. Yesterday one devotee was sharing that Bhakti Rakshak Siddhar Maharaj glorified Prabhupada saying that he distributed nectar like water. He went all over and distributed and wrote these books to explain that nectar, like, how one can experience that nectar and everything. So that's how these all details should help us become more exclusive. That's what is the last line of the purport which we read. The Prabhupada's amazing. Our activities must be so transcendently situated that Lord will be kind enough to look upon us favorably. and he's translating the one, then only this thing can happen. So that's
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for enlightening me. Thank you, Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you very much for expressing your questions. And I also have those questions, but I am also telling that we have to learn. So thank you for expressing them. Anything else or anyone else about what we discussed? Okay, Prabhu. So we'll pause here and then we'll continue now. The rest of the chapter, I think we'll complete in the next sitting because there are questions only. Of course, the important part of Vidura's gratitude is there. But now he got clarity. Oh, so he expresses his gratitude and he says that without, I understood, got convinced of what you are saying, but I have not realized it. So I want to serve you. That's one nice verse, which is 18th verse. So we will discuss that next time. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, विदुर मैत्रेय संवाद की जय, चतुश्लोकी भागवतम की जय.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.